Yes.
Could we have a little more information on what that lady was talking about with the VA?
Do you have? Is your husband a veteran?
Yes.
Okay. There's several programs on. I just wrote an article on it, and it's going to be in next week's paper, next week or the week after, and a whole bunch of benefits dealing it. They have 3 different programs that now is going to cover unpaid medical expenses on it. Now it's all going to qualify on how much funding you got. You know, everything goes by income on dealing it. But they have 3 different pensions. And basically, come out that if you have $100,000 of medical bills that aren't being paid, then they have another program for you on this. The REACH program is Resources Enhanced Alzheimer's Caregivers. I don't know what the anagram stands for this doing it. But look up REACH, go online or anywhere, the REACH program. That's for actually Alzheimer's caregivers. They started out, I think it started last February on the deal. It's been in process for over a year now. They'll come, they'll help you, they'll help train you, they'll give you as much resources as they can. I'm telling you, out of any government department we have, the veterans seems to be the only one on top of the Alzheimer's a little bit. Almost shocking, but that's good.
Could you explain, is this REACH program for people who have been in during the war? Or
No, it's for the caregiver.
Oh,
If you're caring for a vet that has Alzheimer's, you will qualify for the REACH program.
That vet doesn't have to have served during the wartime?
I don't think so.
One day.
Yeah, it's 1 day during the war. She's absolutely right.
Okay, during the wartime.
During the wartime, right.
There's AIDS independence too, and that's very important because that is if you want to come into, say, a place like this, that you're eligible for, the vet is eligible for $2,000 a month.
Right. And that's more than most programs.
That's a wonderful program.
Right.
Did you say you're right for the Tampa Tribune?
Yes.
And what day is your article out?
Saturdays. There's a health for you section. If on the way out of here, there's a clipboard on the table. If you leave me your email address, I send out a weekly newsletter every week with the column. So you'll send out any information that any columns that I got. You know, sometimes papers, there's a different article in each paper. You know, sometimes the paper will fall in. Nano Today comes out every Thursday. Sometimes that same article will be in the Tribune 2 weeks later, sometimes not. I mean, everything goes by space when you wait for the paper.
Okay, thank you. And the name of the book that you recommend for those in denial and the families?
Managing Alzheimer's Dementia Caregivers. Behaviors, I'm sorry. This just came off the press. I just got it Tuesday. But it's 100 pages, 18 chapters, easy to read. It touches a lot on the wristband project. Actually, Brookville Regional Hospital asked me to write this for the educational part of the program on the wristband. And after showing it to many people, they're like, well, you got to do something with this. So I went back, I rewrote it for the professionals and the family caregivers, worked it all in together on the deal. But it's a quick read. I wanted something that you could give the family. If you give them something like this, the chances are they might not get through it. You know what I'm saying? Something like that is something this you can get on Amazon. You go through my website, I got them $10. I have a few copies with me here, they're $10 a piece if you're interested on them. So Kindle, it's on Kindle for $1.98. So, I got another one coming. I don't know where I'm going to start. And I'm not giving up yet. I figure my grandmother died of Alzheimer's, my dad died of Alzheimer's. I'm a flip of a coin. I know that, so I want to get all my writing done now. The next book I'm going to write on is going to be the after effects of caregiving. Because I'm going to tell you something, when it's not over when it's over. Right? And one thing I want to say for you all, I make sure I get this out. If you know of a caregiver and their loved one just died, call them. And don't call them and say, how you doing? Because they're going to say, yes, I'm doing fine. They're lying. You need to call them and say, you know what, I'm going to come get you. I'm going to take you out for lunch. All right? Because you need a jump start to get back in the social world. It's very difficult. And depression after they're gone, your loved one's gone, I'm talking 40–60% of them go into pretty moderate depression for maybe 2 to 3 years after the loved one's gone. It's like when my father died. I mean, it's like everything stopped on a dime. And I've been doing this for 10 years, taking care of this man. And it's like, I thought thoughts like, when he's gone, I'm going to take a vacation. I'm going to go visit old friends. The truth of the matter, I didn't want to leave my driveway. All right? Oh, I can go to the store now. I don't want to go to the store. To get back in the social world, very difficult.
And what did you do for support?
Support groups, for one thing. I actually went to more support groups after he died than I did during when he was there on it. You know. Plus me, I wrote. First thing I did after my dad was gone, I redid my whole house. I put in a set of French doors. I had to do something, and I wanted to change I wanted to put life back in the house. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I went bright colors. I'm like, boy, why did I pick that now? But I mean, it's just not bad. But I redid the house, and that kept me. What was supposed to be 3 weeks turned into like 6-week project. Of course, doing that, but a little life new, and I started going to more support groups and doing it. Like I said, once a caregiver, always a caregiver. I was looking for anything to help. Oh my God, the cat just sneezed. And running over the tissue, it's just like, the plant's dying. I mean, once it's in you, it's in you. I'm telling you. I mean, you'll find this out as you go through it. If you got wisdom and you know what you learned, please share it. Because other people, they need help on this. I mean, once you've gone through this journey, you know way more than when you started. Other people don't. So, but support groups, that was the one big thing. I started going to a couple a week, sometimes more. And there's quite a few in my area. There's a lot everywhere. So I guess some of you came from one today, right? Did you guys have a group this morning?
Yeah, we're doing this kind of instead of a group today,
Well,
so thank you. But
Yeah.
I had a question if I could.
Sure.
I like what you said about the concept of home and the Alzheimer's patient looking for home. Could you just talk about that?
Looking for home.
I want to go home. I want to go home.
Yeah, well, I'm going to tell you something about I want to go home. That does not mean what you think it means sometimes. When they say, you're going to hear it, all of you are going to hear, I want to go home. And when they could be in their own house. Sometimes when I want to go home means they want to go back to the past. They think if they go back to a little Brooklyn street where they grew up, everything's going to go back to normal. I'm not dealing it. So a lot of times, sometimes they want to mean. And a lot of times they say, I want to go home, and they're packing their bags at the front door, ready to leave their own house. So I mean, you got to think about this as you go through it. It doesn't mean what you want. That's when you got to do some redirection, calm them down a little bit about it. If you start hearing you want to go home, you know something bad's coming usually. I'm not saying bad, but it could be. But I mean, the confusion's coming. It's snowballing a little bit on it. Right off the bat, that's showing signs of confusion, getting a little heavier on it. So, but I want to go home. That doesn't mean what you think it is all the time. So, yes.
You frighten me about these trips.
I'm sorry.
We have a cruise planned
Yeah.
in February. We are taking
Bring
another
familiar
photo.
items with you.
I will.
Stuff like photo. I go back to that photo album, but
Sure.
something that you can at least keep them in some type of routine, something similar from the house to keep,
We are having some friends come with us to help me with my husband.
Yeah. I hope it all goes well.
I hope so.
I'm not saying it won't.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to work a little harder on it. You might not have your vacation might be a little.
Well, that's why we have
Right.
a couple coming with us also.
All right, so you're gonna have some help with you.
My husband loves nursing too,
All right.
so we used to.
I mean, in the earlier stages, you're usually okay, but when they get into the moderate stage and on, I'm telling you, it can get pretty bad on it. Like I said, when I took him to Canada, he's the oldest, 17. You can't imagine how many uncles, cousins, and whatever I got. When I write my Christmas cards, it's like and family because stamps are getting expensive, so they'll go up there. What I'm saying is, everything is going on so fast, and this is way too much for them. Crowds, here we live in Florida, right? If there's a storm coming, you can't bring these people to a shelter where there's all these people in one shelter, all worried about the house. They feed off of that. I mean, there's certain things you got to do differently with these people. And crowds, avoiding the crowds is huge. So.
We travel, we drive back and forth for the seasons, and he's done very well.
Good.
As far as like motel, he doesn't wonder. He knows.
I hope everything goes great for you. I really do. I mean, honestly. And maybe this all will. And in the future, you might,
Sure.
see how this one goes.
Sure,
And this might be, I want to say it's the last trip, but it could be,
sure.
There's nothing wrong with staying home with your loved one and enjoying the safety and,
I want to get out too.
I know you do.
I don't want to go on a cruise by myself. That's
I
why
know.
I'm taking this other
And I want you to get out.
Sure.
I mean, it's a difficult journey. I mean, I'm not going to lie about that. Without a doubt.
I was told, don't take my mother out of where she was living at the time. I went to bring her to my house for Christmas. And it turned out it was her last Christmas. I was a bit sorry I did. But I was told, don't take her out of her, her routine.
Yeah, try not to. There was one state.
Focus on me
At one stage, I used to take my dad and put him in the car and say, let's just go for a ride. Right, get him hung around. One last trip came on, I was like, that's it. That's the last time we're doing this. It was, everything was, you don't know where you're going. It was just, it was too much for him. So I said to my sister, how'd it go? She goes, that was the last one. She goes, what do you mean? I go, that's a done deal. So I knew that day that was a decision for me. I was like, from now on, we stay home unless we don't have to. If something has to, doctor's appointment, whatever it takes, we're gonna do it. So, and he was comfortable at home. I mean that's, he kept on going, how long are we staying in this cabin? I'm like, cabin? I know I got a small house, man, but in his mind, you don't know where he was at. With his dad, they had a cabin. Yes.
I was just going to say, we don't travel anymore. We just come back and forth to Florida. And when we went home in the spring, I said, we'd never come back. But here we are, since our kids insisted that we do it. But we don't drive anymore. But what I do with that is I go through the trips that we've taken, the memories. Remember when we went to Hawaii, what we did? And we go through it together and just bring back memories, because I know we're never going to do another cruise or another trip. We're not even going over to my brother's on the other coast for Christmas, because I wouldn't put him up overnight.
There's a point where you got to look at the big picture and say what's best for not just him, for both of you. And it's sacrifices. Caregiving is all about sacrifices.
You have the memories, and that's what helps.
Okay.
It's off the topic, but on the topic. I have a grandmother that has dementia, that's why I'm here. But my youngest son has severe epilepsy, and he's only 4 years old. Sometimes he has trouble after he's come out of a seizure. He's confused with things. And one thing that I started doing, which I just thought of it, I think I'm going to implement for my grandmother for these trips that you're talking about, is possibly taking a photo of them in their routine. Take a photo of them shaving. Take a photo of them going to that bed. Take a photo of them getting in the car. Take a photo of them on a cruise. And have that part of their daily routine. Because you're talking about photo albums.
No,
have a photo of
perfect
them
Christmas gift.
sitting at the table eating with that setup. So that way, maybe they'll recognize themselves doing
and
this
family
act,
members and everything else.
And family members and stuff like that, of themselves doing that act, because that's what we've had to do with our son. Because sometimes he'll come out of a seizure and he's totally befuddled, and it gets him very frustrated and upset, and he doesn't understand for his cognitive memory. So we've implemented that with our son, but I'm thinking, why wouldn't that work with an adult also, to help jog their memory? Maybe have a bathroom photo book. Yeah. When you go into the bathroom, these are things that you do in the bathroom. When you go to bed, this is your routine. This, a smaller photo album. This is what you do when you go to bed. When you eat, when you do laundry, or any little tasks that they maybe do, photograph them doing these tasks, so that way they have that.
They're going to lose their reading skills. That's not even a gimme. I mean, that's going to happen without a doubt.
Maybe, yeah, like I said, and that's helped our son when he gets out of it or he gets frustrated. I'll tell him, look, see, it's time to go to bed. This is what we do. We take a bath when we go to bed. And he looks, he's like, oh yeah, me, tub, me, yeah, you. And then it calms him down and he can get into the tub and stuff like that. So, just an idea.